Romans chapter 13. I'm sorry, not Romans. Mark chapter 13. Mark chapter 13. And as Jesus was going out of the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Teacher, behold what wonderful stones and what wonderful buildings." He was just really impressed with the temple and the buildings around it. And Jesus said to him, "Oh, you see these great buildings? Not one stone shall be left upon another, which will not be torn down." And as he was sitting on the Mount of Olives opposite the temple, Peter and James and John and Andrew were questioning him privately. "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign when all these things are going to be fulfilled?" So Jesus was saying that this is the second temple period. These stones that are building this beautiful temple, they're all going to be separated. This whole building is going to be torn apart. Not one stone is going to be left on top of another. This is what occurred in AD 70 when Rome besieged and defeated Jerusalem and did this. So this whole conversation in verse 30, we keep having some interruptions. I don't know how this is going to come across. I'm just going to keep going. The whole conversation in in Mark chapter 13 is going to be about the destruction of the temple. And it's quite depressing, actually. So bear with me. So they said, "When will these signs be fulfilled?" Jesus began to say to them, "See to it that no one misleads you. Many will come in my name, saying, 'I am he.'" They're going to mislead many. "When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be frightened. Those things must take place. That's not the end. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places. There will be famines. These things are merely the beginning of birth pangs. But be on your guard, for they will deliver you to the courts. You'll be flogged in the synagogues. You will stand before governors and kings for my sake as a testimony to them. And the gospel must first be preached to all the nations. And when they arrest you and deliver you up, do not be anxious beforehand about what you are to say, but say whatever is given you in that hour. For it is not you who speak, it's the Holy Spirit. And brother will deliver brother to death, and father his child, and children will rise up against parents and have them put to death. And you will be hated by all on account of my name. But the one who endures to the end, he shall be saved. When you see the abomination of desolation standing where it should not be, let the reader understand, it says, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Okay, so you don't live in Judea, right? You live in probably the United States of America. So that's not Judea. Rome is not going to attack us. Jerusalem is in Judah. So at this time. So let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. And how serious is it? Let him who's on the housetop, don't even go back into the house to get anything out of it. Just get out and go. Let him who is in the field, don't even let him turn back and get his cloak. Woe to those who are with child and to those who nurse babes in those days. It was a terrible besiegement. But pray that it may not happen in the winter. Everything's worse in the winter, isn't it? Then we have a kind of a switch from the destruction of Rome, or the destruction of Jerusalem, to an end times kind of idea. For those days will be a time of tribulation, such as not occurred since the beginning of the creation, which God created until now, and never shall. And unless the Lord has shortened those days, no life would have been saved. But for the sake of the elect whom he chose, he shortened the days. And then if anyone says to you, "Behold, here is the Christ," or "Behold, he is there," do not believe him. For false Christs and false prophets will arise and will show signs and wonders in order, if possible, to lead the elect astray. But take heed, behold, I have told you everything in advance. But in those days, after that tribulation, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light, the stars will be falling from heaven, the powers that are in heaven will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And then he will send forth the angels, and they will gather together his elect from the four winds, from the farthest ends of the earth to the farthest ends of heaven. Now, he said, learn the parable from the fig tree. I don't know where I wasn't paying attention, so I'm going to begin at verse 28. Now, learn the parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth its leaves, when it does that, you know it's a sign that summer is near. Even so, you too, when you see these things happening, recognize that he is near, right at the door. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass until all these things take place. Now, the generation passed, okay? So in verse 30, this generation will not pass. I think I've said it before in this broadcast that the Greek word for generation is genea, which can also mean race. So this race, these human beings, won't pass away until all things take place. That's a possibility as well. Verse 31, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But of that day or hour, no one knows. Not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, only the Father alone. So take heed, keep on the alert, for you do not know when the appointed time is. It's like a man away on a journey who, leaving his house and putting his slaves in charge, assigning to each one his task, also commanded the doorkeeper to stay on the alert. Therefore, be on the alert, for you do not know when the master of the house is coming, whether in the evening, at midnight, at cock crowing, or in the morning, lest he come suddenly and find you asleep, and there'll be no one at the door to open up for the master. That's bound to make him angry. What do you say? What I say? And what I say to you, I say to all, he said. Be on the alert. Rather depressing chapter, isn't it? All kinds of things. You will be hated. They'll arrest you and deliver you up. Be on your guard. You'll be flogged in the synagogues. Wow, that's rough. Let's hope that doesn't happen to us. Regardless, I think the message here is that we should be on the alert. Okay. Mark chapter 13. Have a good day. Bye.